What is up, everybody? It's Dr. Vibe here, host and producer of the award-winning Dr. Vibe Show, the home of Epic Conversations. And I'm the host of Epic Conversations, 2018 Innovation Award winner, 2020 Best Podcast News Award winner given out by the Canadian Ethnic Media Association. I also co-host and co-produce the only online show in the world for dads, fathers, and male caregivers. It's sponsored by Dove Men Plus Care. And being part of that movement, the team has reached out directly and indirectly to over 400,000 dads, fathers, and male caregivers around the world. And I'm going to speak it that by the end of this year or early next year, I'll be able to say the team has reached out to 500,000 dads, fathers, and male caregivers around the world. As always, I like to say you're blessed, highly favored, a magnet for miracles, and a solution for someone's problem. You are watching, especially on YouTube, The Morning Vibe. Myself and my co-host, Ryan Knight, who's not here today. We're going strong. Now, first things first, I got to address it. Friday, we didn't broadcast on YouTube. It was a mess up. It was just mess up. And I take responsibility, and a little bit the platform I use. I think they had a little bit of responsibility, but I take responsibility on that. I had people coming saying, what happened to the Morning Vibe? What happened to the Morning Vibe? Which is a good and a not so good thing. The not so good thing is we didn't broadcast. The good thing is people said, what happened? So you're getting used to your morning vibe, which is good. And even I have to hail up two people, Frequency Event Promotions, who went on LinkedIn to watch it live. And then, I think he went on Twitch and YouTube, or one of the two, and also C Nurse K, who went and watched a show on Twitch and interacted. Big ups to both of you. Thank you so much. Now, we did do the show, and I'll be posting it in the next day or two on the Dr. Vibe Show YouTube channel. But I think it broadcast on LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube. You'll see it. Now, you didn't miss too much. Of course, it was a great conversation. It was myself, Ryan, Roger Dundas from BuyBlocks.com, and Dr. Tachi of Indie Media. And the funny thing is, we may have only covered like 2 to 3% of what Dr. Tachi wanted to chat about, but it was an amazing conversation, and I ain't gonna hide it from you. All right, you're gonna get it. You're gonna get it this week for sure. So we are back. So it is middle of the last month of the year. For those who do holiday shopping, have you started yet? I haven't. I haven't. I don't know. This whole gift thing is a whole conversation. I tell people the best gift that I can give you is me throughout the year, not just at the holiday season, but that's just me. And it's so good to see there are people watching on YouTube. Yes, everything was a cluster, whatever they call it, on Friday. We're back. We're back and good. And Ryan is not with us today. He has some stuff to do. So he did say, hey, we'll check it out. No problem. So how is everyone doing? What's been going on? How was your weekend? Here in the Toronto area, it was cold. It was cold in Toronto this weekend, but that didn't stop me from getting some things done. Actually, did 3 shows over the weekend. Saturday afternoon with Laura Lala Key and Dr. Tachi. We did primetime Saturday. It was out of bounds like it always is. And then yesterday afternoon, we did a Black Canada Talking with Cesar Dima Musa and myself. And then last night we did Black Men Can Talk with Kofi Morris and Kofi Sadat. Actually, we talked about brotherhood over the holidays, and Black men brotherhood over the holidays. What does it look like? And we put it out there to the viewers, especially the Black men and those who love them, especially Black men. What gift would they like to get for the holiday season, if anything? So it was a good conversation. And so we have another. Actually, I'm excited today. To meet today, and we put her head up. No, you're not coming on yet. Relax. We got some time. We're going to be talking about a subject that is critical to everybody. Everybody, unless you want to live in a cardboard box outside, and that's even a whole other conversation. But most people want to check that out. But yeah, it's been a good good run. We've got a show, coming up Friday that I think a week from today we'll probably do. No, we've actually got Emma coming up this Monday. So I've got to reach out to Emma, and then probably, so Christmas falls on a Thursday. I don't know. I've got to ask Ryan if he wants to do a Boxing Day edition. We're up for it, and I know that most of the holiday season, the regularly scheduled programming will consist. So keep it locked. Keep it on the morning vibe. So people are watching, but you're not commenting. I hope you're okay. But I would love to get a comment from someone who's watching on YouTube Live just to say that, yes, the feed is working. That would be so good. But yeah, it was a good weekend. Good weekend. I have a pile of stuff to get through. And I think that was probably one of the reasons why on Friday's conversation was a mess. And even yesterday's conversation with Black Canada Talking, it didn't broadcast on YouTube Live because of a mistake I made. So I've got to slow it down and pull back a little bit. But I make those little errors that says, you know what? I'm either tired or I've got too much on my plate. So I think I'm going to pull it back. People say, do you take a break? Yeah, I do. I'll tell you when it is, though. Okay. Yeah, lots going on in the world. Unfortunately, our condolences to the people that lost their lives on a beach in Australia. Not good. Also, there was a shooting attack on Brown University in the United States. There's a lot of not so good going on, but you know what? We highlight on the good here, not the not so good. We look at shining the light, like you see behind me. You see that sun just above my head that's rising? So we like to shower with sun. Okay. What we gonna do? Okay, we're gonna go to a break. And when we come back, we've gone for probably about a minute or two. When we come back, I'll do some housework. Then we'll play a little trailer about the conversation we're having today, and then you're gonna meet a new friend. Most of you don't know her. Maybe one or two may, but we like bringing wonderful people to the platform. So we will be right back after our first little break on the Morning Vibe. Here we go.
Coming up on this Friday's show, Dr. Tachi will be back talking more about this year in media, tech, and pop culture with Dr. Vibe, Ryan, and Roger Dundas of VibeLax.com.
Hey, what is up, everybody? It's Dr. Vibe here. Hope you are fine and safe. I'm just doing a little short video showing you the feature where you can call in when we're doing a live show. And I've said it many times on many of my shows, but I said, you know what? Let me do a video and show you. This is the video. When you go to any browser, whether you're using your smartphone, desktop, laptop, whatever digital device, and you go to callme.road.com, which is here. Also, too, most of the time when I'm doing a broadcast, there will be a QR code that I will show. So whether it's QR code or you're going through some digital device, this is where we're at, callme.road.com. Then what you want to do is put in this code, FSP-L8L. Now, once you put that in, you hit continue. And once you go into continue, you want to make sure that you have echo cancellation in green and mic gain in green. And then all you need to do is put in your name, and I'm going to put Dr. Vibe here. I need to spell it correctly. Dr. Vibe. And then once you've done that, all you need to do is click on join call. And that's it. Looking forward to having you call in. I just wanted to show a video because I know you want to call in, but I want to show you. So looking forward to hearing you live on the Dr. Vibe Show. As always, don't just manage your time, manage your energy, and remember to give yourself grace. God bless, peace be well, keep the faith, and walk good. All right, we are back. Hope everyone is fine and safe. Would love you to call in. Actually, we're doing Black Canada Talking yesterday, and Ryan called in because we were talking about the 5-part documentary about Diddy, and him and Cesar were going back and forth about that documentary. I haven't watched any of it. I don't got time to watch any of it. That I let the other people give that social commentary on it, but there we go. All right. So as always, subscribe to the Dr. Vibe Show on YouTube and hit the notification button. There's many of you that watch, but you don't subscribe. Hey, if you're up to it, subscribe to the YouTube channel. I'd appreciate it. And if you're already subscribed, thank you so much. But tell other people about it. Also follow me on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok, Blue Sky, and Substack. join our Discord group. All you need to do is email me at dr period VIBE at the DR, VIBESHOW.com, or click on the link or copy and paste the link and go to Discord and do it directly. Also, if you want to advertise your business, product, or service on the platform, please feel free to email me again, dr period VIBE at the DR, VIBESHOW.com. And finally, cannot forget, you've heard her name a few times today, Dr. Tachi. She's the force behind Indie Soup Media, independent content creators platform on YouTube. And in 2 years' time, over 28,000 subscribers. And my content, or the content we do together, is on that platform. And also I'm a member of the advisory board. So, and you'll see Dr. Tachi coming up this Friday. So we got all that done. All right. So as I had mentioned, we've got a new friend coming up with us today, but I'm not going to tell you who she is until we play this video. And this will be the foundation of our conversation today. So she'll be coming on stage right after this. So let's watch a short video.
Imagine needing to build nearly 500,000 homes every year just to make housing affordable again in Canada. That's the challenge we face. Demand keeps outpacing supply. Last year, 452,000 new households formed, but only 242,000 homes were built. Why? Restrictive zoning, slow approvals, rising construction costs, high interest rates, and rapid population growth, especially from immigration, all play a role. The impact is real. Renters, young families, low-income Canadians, and Indigenous communities are squeezed hardest, especially in cities like Toronto and Vancouver. Solutions exist: zoning reform, faster approvals, more purpose-built rentals, modular builds, public and nonprofit housing, and rules to curb flipping and short-term rentals.
All right, new friend to the Morning Vibe, Dr. Vibe family, Casey Bradfield. She is a housing and homelessness program specialist. We're going to be chatting today about the affordable housing crisis in Canada. What is up? What's going on? How you doing?
I'm doing great. Happy to be here finally on the Dr. Vibe show. This is so exciting.
This has been not a minute, it's been an hour.
Yeah, it has.
So let me ask you, where does the show find you this morning? Where are you located?
I'm in Peterborough, Ontario, actually. I'm from Toronto, but I live in Peterborough right now. So that's where I am, in my house. Yes.
Good stuff. And can you share a little bit about yourself with our family this morning?
Yeah. So I think I have a pretty cool background, if I say so myself. I work in affordable housing. I work for a municipality. As you mentioned, I'm a housing and homelessness program specialist. I also am a licensed real estate agent. I worked in residential and commercial real estate. And my partner is a real estate developer. So I feel like I'm all in this conversation in so many different ways.
Mm-hmm. What drove you to this sector, homelessness and housing? What's the background from you going from where you were into this? Because I know that this is your passion.
Yeah, that's a great question. Well, the short answer is...
You can take your time. It's okay. No rush.
You want the long answer. That's what you're saying. Okay. Honestly, I grew up in co-op housing. Me, my mom, my brother in a 2-bedroom apartment for over 20 years. Never moved out. And I kind of understand what it's like to have less, survive on social assistance, and to live in affordable housing, right? So at first I thought the answer for me was, I got to become a real estate agent. I got to make a lot of money. I gotta get rich or die trying, right? 50 Cent was here yesterday and you were talking about the Diddy documentary. So, give him a little shout out there. But anyways, grew up in affordable housing, thought the answer was real estate, worked in real estate for a long time, and then got the opportunity to work in affordable housing. And the journey has been absolutely fascinating.
Okay, that's fantastic. And it's something that's been an ongoing, I say crisis. Can I say that word? Crisis? For many years. We are based in Canada, but I know it's also a a challenge in the United States.
Yeah.
And how's the journey been for you so far?
The journey in affordable housing has been so eye-opening, because I'm learning about tools that I never even knew existed. And again, I grew up in it. So over 20 years, struggling to find more, and I didn't know there were resources out there that could actually help people. That's a problem. Um, but also that there is things that can be done to better people's lives and move them from affordable to ownership, in my opinion. So it's a fascinating field when you learn the ins and outs.
Okay. Well, someone is watching and says hello, so I'm going to put them on the screen. Good morning, folks. Great to see you, Casey. You see that name?
Hi, Ray. How are you?
Yes, so he is watching and sending his support to you. So
Oh, great.
that is fantastic. And Ray and Casey have met in the past when Ray was in this country. Ray is hanging out in Jacksonville, Florida. But that is good stuff. So let's start with this. You want to start with affordable housing, what it actually means in real life. So give us a start here.
Yeah. So the most acceptable definition of affordable housing is roughly 30% of your income is affordable, right? So if you make $65,000 a year, that's about $1,625 in rent. So you shouldn't be paying more than that in rent. If you are, then your housing and your living is unaffordable. That's the most general definition.
Okay. And for everyone that's watching live on the replay, we're talking about Canadian dollars. All right. Because I have quite a large, we're blessed to have quite a large US audience. So I just want to make sure and that would probably, and Ray, you live in the US. So maybe you can say, what percentage of income maybe regards as affordable housing. So I know this isn't a topic that we want to chat, but I think it's important we talk about how would you describe the human face of Canada's affordable housing crisis?
How would I describe the human face of Canada's affordable housing crisis? So when I try to answer that question, what comes to mind is, I see my mom. Honestly, I
Mm,
see all of the mothers and all of the single mothers. I see all of the people with people who have been struggling in some way or other their whole entire lives, who's never moved from the same place they've always lived, the people who have 5 or 6 family members living in 1 or 2 bedroom apartments, the people who are struggling to get groceries in this economy. I see all of those faces right now. Yeah.
so I just want to build on that. Is a group or groups that are affected by affordable housing either changing or expanding?
Yeah, that's a good question. So I think for a long time, people thought, oh, the people who need affordable housing are low income people. They're those people, those people.
Yeah.
But nowadays, that definition of who benefits from affordable housing is expanding. It's everyone. It's people like myself, people working in hospitals, people working any type of job, really. There's a lot of people who could benefit from affordable housing, not just because they're on the poverty line, but also because, and Ray said this to me, I think a couple of years ago, and it really stood out in my head, because affordable housing, when used right, can be a tool to help you build wealth to move on to the next the next phase of your life, which could be ownership.
Okay. Yeah, because if you're comfortable sharing, you had to move from Toronto to where you are for affordable housing, correct?
I didn't move here for affordable housing. In fact, after COVID, a lot of the smaller municipalities became less affordable because you had
Oh.
this like exodus out of the city to these smaller cities, because people could work remotely and because of the shutdown. And that drove the prices up in some of these smaller municipalities.
Mm.
And Peterborough is a university town. There's Trent University and Fleming College. So the rents are pretty high here. So did not come here for affordable housing, came here for the job to work in affordable housing.
Even in Peterborough, the rents are high. Yeah, we've talked about that. That still sort of go, wow. Like, and so for people in context, many people will know, okay, Toronto. How far away is Peterborough from Toronto in regard, so people get a sense of how crazy this affordable housing crisis is?
It's an hour and 45 minutes away from Toronto.
See that?
Yeah.
You see that, folks?
Mm-hmm.
An hour and 45 minutes away from Toronto, still not affordable homes. That's crazy. That is crazy.
Well, when you talk about affordable homes to own and affordable homes to rent, those markets are often two different markets. So the rental market here is unaffordable for the majority. The ownership market compared to Toronto, way more affordable than Toronto. You're talking about like maybe an average in the 600s rather than the millions, right? So depending on what you're looking for, are you looking to rent? Are you looking to buy? Those are different conversations. I was in Belleville the other day and looking at houses in the 600 range that were maybe 200,000 or 150,000 to 200,000 the year before.
Oh
Now
my,
they're selling for mid fives. But
come
if you're in
on.
Toronto and your house is $1 million, that's still more affordable, right? So it really depends on what we're talking about. When we're talking about affordable housing, often we're talking about renting.
Mm. It went up that much in Belleville?
Yeah.
Ah, it's crazy. That's crazy. All right, let me have another good conversation topic with you, and in regards to this is like, wow, and I know Ray's gonna chime in eventually. You know that Ray's lurking, so I'm gonna get my one or two more conversation pieces in. Mr. I should. You know what? Next time, if you're coming, I'll see if Mr. McMillan can join us.
I'd love that.
That would be
Absolutely.
that'd be fantastic. Okay, so let me ask you, which groups, seniors, indigenous communities, newcomers, are disproportionately affected, and why?
Yeah, so all of the ones that you mentioned, seniors, indigenous, racialized groups, people with disabilities, veterans, um, newcomers, as you said. Yeah, all of those groups are disproportionately uh, in need of affordable housing. And why? There's lots of reasons. I think I could talk about racialized groups. We could talk
Sure.
about the effects of systemic racism. We could talk about the similar things for indigenous groups, the obviously the atrocities and the history there that pushed people out of their home and their land, right? And then when we talk about seniors, I think what people either see or don't see is there's a lot of people in decline eventually in health wise, and there's not enough spaces to accommodate physical um, you know, the physical breakdown of our bodies over time. So, like aging in place, there's not a lot of spaces that people can afford to age in place, where they're going to need maybe wheelchair accessibility, which means that people have to look for places to live that are going to accommodate them, and there are not enough spaces. So, they sign up for rent geared to income in hopes that they can get an accessible unit in these purpose built rental buildings. But there's just not enough supply for everyone. So what you really find is that there's a lot of vulnerable people who are in need of affordable housing that get left out of the market rental, like who get left out of the regular renting experience because when they go to approach a landlord, they're not a AAA tenant, or they have lower income, or they're a vulnerable person, and so they're not easily able to access a market property.
Okay, and for us commoners who are not land barons like you, what is a AAA tenant?
As a real estate agent, I don't know if you guys have ever used a real estate agent or went online and you were looking for a place to live and it says only AAA tenants here. It means that they want your credit to be high. They want your job to be good. They want you to just be like the best person that walks down the street, right? So as soon as you have lower credit. As soon as you have an iffy job or part-time job, or you might just look a little funny, then landlords start to look at you, and then they start to think, well, I could get Joe, or I could get you, and they start to choose other people over you, and that makes your ability to find housing more difficult, especially as a renter.
So we are hanging out here with Casey Bradfield talking about the affordable housing crisis in Canada. If you've got any questions, please chime in or call in. Ray has some comments here. She says, rents are high all across Ontario, in every major city. Major city in Ontario, any city with more than 100,000 people.
Mm-hmm.
But he also says Belleville is a waterfront city and a retirement haven.
Mm-hmm.
So the higher prices are expected, unfortunately.
Gotcha. Thanks, Ray.
Ray's in Florida, doing his thing, making everything good. So that is so true. He is AK, we call him the Godfather. So we make that happen. All right, let me just pull up something here. Let's see, because I think there may be some more comments here. Oh, okay, he goes, he says, so sorry, I have to be in my car shortly so I can listen, but not comment. Make sure you, Casey, are regularly returning. Concur. You see that? Godfather's putting the returning guest on. She has much to share on the subject of housing, so I've been ordered.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much, Ray, and I'm glad you're listening.
All right, he has ordered me to say bang. All right, so let's make this happen.
Let's do it.
All right, so let's talk about also now a quick look at the affordable housing continuum: social housing, RGI, rent supplements, and portable benefits like COHB.
Yeah, so we're mixing a couple things here. We're mixing up some affordable tools and the continuum. So let's talk about the continuum first. So we have homelessness, we have shelters, and we have transitional housing, and then we have affordable housing, we have social housing, then we have affordable housing, then we have market housing, we have ownership housing. And what I'd like to put in between ownership housing and market housing is affordable ownership housing. And I'll break that down quickly.
No, take your time. I don't know your rush. Take your time. We want to understand. We want to understand, because if you do it quickly, because I know the majority of people here don't have the knowledge. So you're here to educate, empower, enlighten, and entertain. So unless you feel you have to be rushed, you're not in a rush.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, so if you happen to, and I really hope this doesn't happen to you, but if you happen to find yourself on the street and you don't know where to go, you might want to go to a shelter. They're going to be able to provide you with some food and a cot in a shared space. That's the shelter system. Then from there, you could get access to a transitional housing program. They would offer different services, maybe addiction support, maybe mental health support, but it's a program that's going to be guided by health practitioners to help you get back on your feet. That's transitional housing. Then you're going to go to social housing. Those are those long wait lists that you sign up for. Think Toronto Community Housing. And if you're in a different city, then it might be a similar local housing experience. But those wait lists can be 10, 15 years. So if you are looking for affordable housing now, sign up right now. Sign up yesterday, because it's going to take a long time to get called. So those are social housing. It's rent geared to income. So your rent is 30% of your income, and it's not going to be more than that while you're living in RGI housing. Next from there, affordable housing. Affordable housing is the buzzword today, but it's different from RGI housing. Why is it different? Instead of it being geared to your income, they actually have affordability definitions like average market rent or median market rent. And essentially, the prices for affordable housing are usually a little higher than social housing because it's set at a different price point. I know it gets complicated. It's complicated.
No, it's all right. But that's why I want you to expand it fully, so people, but you're doing a great job.
Thank you.
You're
Thank you.
welcome.
So once we move from affordable housing, there's something called affordable ownership housing, which is what I think is amazing. And we have Habitat for Humanity, I think, is doing this the best across Canada because they are building homes that you can own and you don't need a down payment. You might put in a little bit of sweat equity. They have like volunteer stuff that you can do to earn your down payment, and then you would purchase a home with them. There are also shared equity programs where they might give you your down payment and then they say, you own the house, but I own the house too because I gave you that money. So when you sell it eventually, they'll take a piece of that house equity from you, but at least you got to own a part of the house. So that's another program. You got other programs like Options for Homes. And I think there's a few programs, through few Black specific shared equity programs that exist through Black North Initiative and one other one. From there, we have market rentals. Good morning. And we have market ownership. So market rentals is when you go on Facebook Marketplace and you message someone and they say my 2-bedroom house is $2,000 a month for rent. That's just regular market. It's not affordable. It's just what the prices are dictated by the landlords. And similar for ownership houses. You go to buy a house, the house costs $1 million. You're in Toronto. There's no subsidy. There's nothing. That's just market ownership. So that's the full continuum. But outside of the continuum, you also have tools. Now, I want everyone to know this because I operate a program. It's called Rent Supplement Program. Even if you're not in RGI housing, you could be on the wait list for 10 years. Most municipalities have a tool in their toolkit called rent supplements, which means they could subsidize your rent right now. If your rent is unaffordable, you could call your city, say, I can't afford my rent. I need help. Do you have rent supplements available? And if you meet whatever criteria that they set in that city, then they could pay the difference from your rent to what you can afford, that 30% of income. They would pay that for you to make your rent affordable. We also have a provincial tool called the Canada Ontario Housing Benefit, similar to a rent supplement. It helps to subsidize your rent to your income to make it affordable. It's something you could get tomorrow, but each city has a limited supply, and this province is investing in it less and less year over year, and it's going to end by 2029. So that one's a little bit less reliable, but it is a tool that exists right now.
Thank you, Professor. Well done, well done. And Fitness IQ Cam says, Morning. Good to hear you. Fitness IQ Cam, good to have you here this morning. My intuition says we're going to take a quick 15-second break because Professor Bradfield has been giving lots of knowledge and she needs a break from it. So we're going to take a quick 15-second break. We're going to come back. We're talking about affordable housing in Canada. And really, wherever you're watching this, probably affordable housing anywhere, I think is a really important subject. So we'll be back after a quick 15-second break.
Yo, peace. It's your guy, J Soul.
And it's Mark Vision in the building.
You are watching The Morning Vibe with Dr. Vibe and Ryan Knight.
Whether they chopping up the heavy stuff between themselves
Or bringing in people you need to hear from.
the goal's always the same: create a positive morning vibe.
So stay tuned and ride with it.
Yeah.
Let's go.
All right, we are back.
Can I say I'm loving these commercials? What? They're so cool.
Thank you. Well, we just do our thing. We, make it good and fun for everybody. So we just do. So continuing on in our conversation today, what do we want to chat about next? Okay, I know it's in Casey had a number of things she wanted to cover today, and I've added. I hope I haven't thrown her off track in any way. But let me chat about Yeah. You want to chat about the people living in affordable and market housing, especially long-term tenants who stay in small units for decades because moving isn't financially possible.
Yeah, yeah. So whether you're in affordable housing, RGI housing, or market housing, I know way too many people, honestly, way too many people who, including my own family, who have found one place, that one place that actually rented to them. And then they ended up living there for 20 to 40 years, right? Even though they had 3, 4, 5 children, they're still in the same 2-bedroom apartment or the same 1-bedroom apartment or the same basement apartment. Why is that? Why is that? Why do you think that is, Dr. Vibe?
I think part of it may be financial education, right? They don't know. Some people, they don't know what they don't know, and some people get comfortable in what they're at. But the thing is, if you're having more people in your house, it can get congested, but then it becomes they don't know where to go to get the education to see how they can level up, so to speak. So I think part of it is lack of knowledge.
I think that's part of the story, definitely. I think there are a lot of people who maybe even new to this country who never learned the rules of how it works or credit. But even for myself, growing up, being born here and being raised, and maybe I wasn't taught all the tools of wealth from the beginning of my life. But for me to try and figure it out, it's taken a long time to figure
Absolutely.
how to build credit. Like that's a huge learning curve. And Ray and I talked about this years ago about building credit, but that's a huge learning curve in and of itself. And so to have to like in my case for my mom and myself to be a single mom, let's say you have 2 kids in a house, you have to work already. You have life's pressures on you. It's already hard. Then you got to figure out, okay, how am I going to make enough money to save on top of paying my rent and taking care of these kids? And
Mhm.
then you got to figure out, okay, moving is hard. How am I even going to pick up all this stuff and move to a larger property, even if I could afford it and I could save enough, right? It's just, it seems insurmountable sometimes, unless, yes, you have that knowledge or you have a little help. And affordable housing can be the help and difference maker. But yes, you're right. It does have to come with um, some financial knowledge. But I do think there's room in our affordable housing system to offer that knowledge to people, especially if you live in RGI housing or social housing. Why can't you host financial education seminars in your building? Or if you live in a co-op, why can't you host those types of seminars to teach people what they need to know to save and graduate for the people who want to out of affordable housing to ownership? Or why not offer a built-in savings program like a rent-to-own type situation where you might save a portion of your rent, of your monthly rent, to go towards something that could help you with first and last when you leave, or towards a down payment if you stay in that apartment for 10, 20 years. Like there are tools that we can build in, but no one's building them because we have to build them for ourselves.
Mm. Okay, and this is good stuff. And chiming in, the great Dr. Tachi says, "Good morning, all." She's saying, "Good morning" from Fort Lauderdale, Florida.
Good
And
morning.
also, my man JJ Marsh from Colorado is in the house, and he says, "Hey, Dr. Vibe, just tuned in. Interesting topic." And says, "Has a question for you. Is racial housing segregation a serious issue in Canada?" You've lived it, so you're the best person to answer that. So go for it.
Yeah, so there's definitely a lot of research saying that Black youth are disproportionately experiencing, uh, I will say, issues when it comes to housing, when it comes to homelessness. Absolutely, there is data and proof that racialized youth are disproportionately affected and represented in affordable housing and homelessness. So, yes, hands down. But for me, where I grew up, however, there was a mix. I grew up at Lakeshore, on the Lakeshore end for over 20 years. Before that, I was on Weston Road. And depending on the pockets and where you live in Toronto, I know people at like you could there's pockets all across Toronto. You know where the Black people are. You just know where they are. You know where the mixed communities are. You know where the newcomers are. It's just, you could pick any low income neighborhood and you're gonna find a lot of newcomers. You're gonna find a lot of racialized people, but you're also gonna find a lot of mixed people in Canada. You are gonna find all kinds of people everywhere.
Good question, JJ Mars. Thank you so much. And just doing a reset here, we are speaking with Housing and Homelessness Program Specialist Casey Bradfield about the affordable housing crisis in Canada. It's not just in the US, y'all. It's also here. All right? It's also here. And keep on bringing your questions from wherever you are watching this in the world. It is good. So let me ask conversation process, another conversation topic. What are the biggest, in your opinion, what are the biggest structural barriers preventing progress? Is it funding, zoning laws, public perception, sorry, or something else?
Well, if you were to look on like the news and you say, you know, the affordable housing crisis, in your video earlier today, it was because we weren't building enough spaces for people to go and get access to affordable housing. And so I can give you a bit of the history. Canada
Sure.
used to build social housing, RGI housing. Back in the late 80s, 90s, they stopped. Around that time, they stopped building it. And they basically took these buildings that they own, these RGI buildings, and they passed them down to the province, said, you guys handle these buildings that we built. And then the province said, okay, municipal cities, you guys handle these buildings that we built. And so those same buildings, those social housing and RGI buildings that people live in today are now 30 years old plus, which means those
Mhm.
buildings are old, right? And when a building is old, they start breaking, tearing down, things can happen to them. You know, we need new buildings constantly that people can live in for many different reasons. So what also happened in that time span is the mortgages that the government help fund are now expiring for all of those old social housing
Ooh,
buildings,
wow.
which means that each of those housing providers are now renegotiating how many units they keep in the system, because for a long time they weren't making enough money, right, to survive, to upkeep the building. Because when you charge low rents, that means you don't have enough money to repair your buildings, because you're not making a profit, which is the difference between those people who were building thousands and thousands of condo buildings because they were making so much money, right? They were getting their money out. They built condos left, right, and center. But with social housing, because the rents were low, they didn't want to invest in it anymore because it was expensive and they weren't making a lot of money. Does that make sense? Okay.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So what's interesting now in Canada is we now have Build Canada Homes. Have you heard of Build Canada Homes?
A little bit.
Okay. So they're a new federal agency that says, hey, we're going to build affordable housing. We're going to build transitional housing. We're going to build social housing. We're going to build affordable housing. We're going to build it again. So this is like a loop. We're going back to the days in which the federal government invested in and built affordable housing. But this is very early and very new, but it's good news for all the people who are saying we need more, we need more, we need more. We're going to get more. We're going to get it now.
Okay, so then this leads me to another conversation piece. Do you feel that the government should be in the housing business?
I feel like as a Black person, that's always a tough question, because sometimes when we think about Black people and the history with authority and government and police and all, and what, you know, you look back in the States sometimes and you scratch your head and you're like, does the government always have everybody's best interest at heart? You know, I think historically the answer is no, but you know, here I am, hopeful, working for the city. My perspective is changing. I'm growing. I'm expanding. I know that there are people with good hearts trying to do good things. And I just hope that the people working for the federal government and working in Build Canada Homes and Anna Bailau and her team really do care about the people who live in affordable housing, because that is what I think will make the difference. But what I'm hearing too often is I went to the Ontario Not-for-Profit Housing Association conference last month, and all the speakers come up and these like political people come up and they're like, you know what? I care about affordable housing because I once lived in a very fancy house and that house got sold and got turned into affordable housing. And I'm like, that's your relationship with affordable housing? Like, a lot of people who are working in this field don't actually know what it's like to live and be a person who needs affordable housing. And I think that's a gap. I wish there were more people with lived experience in this field, because then when they're building affordable housing, they would know what to do, what to build, and they'd care about the people more. Not saying they don't, but I just wish they knew. I wish they knew.
Then this leads back to many years ago when I was young, and I'm still young, but younger. Let me say younger, and I had hair. I remember one of my teachers, I actually remember his name, Mr. Patrick. He said, who do you trust more, government or business? Private business in this space. Is one better than the other, or is there something else? Is it a combination? Where do you stand at this time in your journey? Should it just be with government? Should it just be with private sector, or a mix of both, or something else?
I mean, the private sector is caring about profits, and they will always care about profits. So, I mean, that's never going to be the answer by itself. Governments at least are trying to have some kind of moral responsibility to care about whatever they're trying to solve for, which seems to be the fact that there's just maybe way too many people on the streets, and they want to build affordable housing to reduce homelessness. If that's the goal, I think that's still a noble and good goal, and it still trumps profits, right? But I would like to see more not-for-profits who are doing this work, who are doing the housing work every single day, like Eva's. Shout out to Eva's. I'm on their board, and I think that.
Oh, wow. I
Yes,
didn't know that.
yes, I'm a new board member. I officially started in January.
Is that Everett Place?
Eva's Place, Eva's Initiative, yes, yes, who are housing people and who have shelters, transitional housing, and more permanent, and are looking to build more permanent spaces. Those are the people who need to get in the housing game. And we may not understand development because that is its own world. It costs hundreds of millions of dollars to develop things. So I get it. Private companies know a little bit more about that world, but partnering with not-for-profits who actually care about the people is key. And governments coming in there to fast track approvals and, give more money and all the fancy things governments do. Love that. Let's all work together, but we need the not-for-profits who actually care about people in there.
Okay. I know our time is winding down because you have a little one that you're taking care of. So I want to value that person also. Let me ask also, how do intergovernmental tensions, federal, provincial, municipal, slow down solutions?
Yeah. So prior to working in housing, I was like, I'm not going to be all up on politics and I'm not into it because, I really I didn't want more to worry about, right? I had enough problems in my life and I was like, I'm not going to worry about politics. But as I now work for the city and I start to see how much, and I didn't believe this before, I start to see how much the decisions from politicians actually do affect me, especially when I look at the states and I'm like, oh my gosh, Trump is making decisions that are really affecting things. Anyways, I care now. So I'm learning a little bit more about how having a more conservative provincial government affects our liberal conservative, whatever you want to call it, federal government. Well, maybe definitely more liberal under Trudeau. Now, we've gone a little bit more liberal conservative, in my opinion, with Mark Carney. But you can still see a difference in what Ford's provincial government is looking at and what they're doing from especially what Trudeau was doing. So let's think about Bill 60, for instance. Bill 60 is what I would call a more conservative bill. It's I'm going to say the word omnibus bill, but I'm like, no one, I don't even know what that means. It just means it's a bunch of different laws together. And the general feel of Bill 60 is to shift the rental market from being in favor of tenants to being in favor of landlords. Now, this might not seem like a big deal for some people, especially if you're a landlord. You're probably like, yeah, let's go, let's go. But if you are a tenant who's already struggling because you have bad credit, or, you have mental health issues, or, you have accessibility issues, and moving is a huge barrier, it is now easier for you to get evicted because Bill 60 is shifting what can happen for tenants and what can happen for landlords. Also, again, I work for a municipality. Social housing providers are sometimes have properties where you're creating a community for people, and then you have some tenants over here causing issues, and you have some tenants over here trying to live peacefully. I get it. There are definitely cases where people need to be evicted more easily, especially if they're causing problems in your community. But I'm so mindful of the people who are looking to enter into the rental market, who are vulnerable. And I do feel like this bill could push them out of housing, maybe onto the street. Who knows? Where are they going to go?
It's interesting when I've had conversations about rental landlords for people who are based in Ontario on this platform. Anyone who has been a renter say, "Man, I'll never do that again. It's such a hassle. Could never get people out, etc." Now it seems that it's flipped, as you had said, that the landlords are happy. The renters, I I think a lot of renters don't know about in Ontario don't know about this C60, and it's going to hit them like bang. They're not aware of it,
It's brand new. It's brand new.
and it's going to hit them, and it's going to be a firebomb of this that's going to hit. So let me just JJ Marr says U.S. government historically has been politicized, starting with Reagan in the 80s and now more extreme with 47. Frequency event promotions is in the house. Good to see you. Good everyone and all. JG Marr says basically dismantling the government and allowing private sector to take over and making things far worse. So this could be the forebear of what's going to happen in Ontario based on the U.S. experience. Oh boy, not pretty, not pretty. That's not a good thing. Not a good thing. Oh, so this Bill 60 is not. So your thoughts on Bill 60 seems that are not good.
I mean, it was I've moved so many times in my life. It's always been super hard for me to find a place to live. And I have been, I went to university. I've always had a job. Again, my credit hasn't always been perfect. I was a sucker to those, MBNA credit cards with like super 25% interest when I was like 18 years old. It got me early, and my credit, was challenged. So it was really hard for me to find a place. And if that's happening to me, I can only imagine all the people who are struggling to find housing in this, and in a world where housing is unaffordable, where market rents are too high to live off of, and you have families. Anyone who's not perfect is already struggling to find a place, which is part of the reason why some people living in one spot for 40 years are afraid to move, because they don't know where they're going to go. Then you make that worse. Then you say, okay, you're already afraid to move because you don't know where you're going to go. But if you miss or are late on your rent, it's now easier for me to evict you. I mean, where are people going to go? I just don't know where people are going to go. Yes, we're building more affordable housing, but affordable housing is going to take a minimum 3-4 years to build.
Yes.
Plus, again, we have 15-year wait lists for social housing.
Yeah.
I mean,
Is what you do frustrating at times?
I honestly try to be I try to be really nice to people, and I try to find solutions, like That's what I want. All I want to do is give everybody a rent supplement. If it were up to me, the finance team maybe doesn't love me for that because I'm like, how do we just give everybody a rent sup? You know? But yeah, so I'm sure my team is like, oh, Casey's, she's a revolutionary, or she's, out of her mind. I don't know what they say about me, but I try to find solutions for the people that I work with. And I work in a small town, and there's not a lot of like racialized people in the area that I live in. But I'm like, if I lived in if I worked in a bigger city and I had more tools and more money, like if I worked in the city of Toronto, honestly, I feel like I would be just I'd be trying to help the whole world. I'd be trying to unleash new programs and roll out new programs every single day. I would be doing everything. I'd be doing everything I can, but it all comes down to the financial resources of each city, and how much money and support they get from the federal, provincial government, what local developers are in the area that are willing to build affordable housing, and do we have enough money to incentivize developers to build in that municipality. And that's all dollars and cents. It's
Comes from the
really,
money.
it's
Comes
all
from
about
the
money. It all comes back down to money at the end of the day.
Yep. Yep.
It's less about, from that level, from the government level, it's less about the people.
Yeah.
And it's more about the dollars that we have to make programs happen. And that's why I always want to point back to not-for-profits, because they don't look at it like that. Well, maybe they do, but
So
they're
I'm going
doing the
theme
work.
on our show here, but not-for-profits got to look at it. Yeah, you're running a business. there's that education needs to be there, that you got to survive and have sustainability.
Yeah.
Very important. I don't want to keep you because I know you have a young one that isn't 100% with you. So we'll probably start winding it down. But let me ask you, what would be one suggestion you make for our people when it comes to this area?
Yeah. For our community, for Black people and our allies, honestly, take advantage of affordable housing tools while they're available. I would call and ask about rent supplements. I would get on the affordable housing wait list. I would, and once I'm in there, once I have access to savings off of my rent, I'm taking that money that I now have access to, that I'm not spending on rent, and I'm saving it. I'm putting it in my investment account, and I'm letting that money grow, and I'm saving to maybe a down payment on my house. Or if you're really savvy, then you're investing properly in stocks, or you have a financial advisor. I don't know what you want to do, but ultimately saving, making sure that I'm not spending 50% or more of my money on rent. I'm at that 30% mark. I'm actually living in an affordable place, and I'm saving the income that I would have been spending. I'm investing it. I'm buying something that I can afford. That's kind of what I would suggest to our people. That's what I would recommend.
All right. Well, finally, you done it. You've been here. Will you come back? Will you allow us to have you back?
Yes, and it's not that I'm not wanted to be here. I've always wanted to be here. I
But
think my life has just been so crazy for so long.
it's okay. It's all good. It's all good. It's all good. So, family, if you want to get a hold or touch base with Casey, her email address is kcbtherealtor@gmail.com. And also, she has a wonderful creative side to her also on Instagram at LetKCB if you want to check that out. KCB, you did it. You did it. You landed. So hopefully we'll have you back in the near future when you have time for us. But I always want to say thank you so much for taking the time. It's appreciated, not taking for granted. I'm sure we'll chat during the day, but go take care of that young gentleman in the house. All right.
Thank you. You're amazing, Dr. Vibe. Oh
What
my
did I
God.
What
This
did I
has been
do?
so good.
Well, hey, look at the company I'm with. So I got to step up, right?
Whatever.
All right. Well, we'll chat later. As always, don't just manage your time, manage your energy. Remember to give yourself grace. And thanks for being on the show.
Thanks. Bye.
Be well. All right, everybody. That is Casey. And we're going to have her back because she has a lot of important things to chat about that you need to know about in regards to, again, realting, being a realtor, affordable housing, etc. So let's spend a few minutes. I know there are a few of you here, and let's see. So next few minutes, anything you want to talk about, whatever you want to chat about, we will do it. So let's make this happen. All right. So what's going on? Give a few minutes. If not, we'll let you go. If you're surviving the weather in Toronto, it's all good. And upcoming stuff, what are you doing over the holiday season? Hope it's good. Hope it's fine. If not, I'll give you a minute or so to ask Dr. Vibe anything. So anything you want to ask Dr. Vibe, this is your time. If I don't hear anything in about 2 or 3 minutes, we'll cut the show for today because I don't want to waste your most valuable thing, your time. So if you got something you want to throw in there, comments, let's ask anything. I think Frequency Event Promotions, you may be in the room. If you are, you always have questions for me. So make it happen. Make it happen. But again, if I don't hear anything, I'm gone. So I'm giving 2 minutes for any question, comment, or I'm going to shut up and dance, which is for those who remember, there's a lady named Paula Abdul who had an album back in the day called Shut Up and Dance. So I'm going to let you guys ask me. Oh, someone I ask and I shall receive. Comment here. JJ Mar says 50 Cent making money off of these problems. So at JJ Mar's interesting comment. I haven't watched the documentary. I watched maybe about 15 minutes. I said I had enough. I didn't want to go any further. I had enough. I didn't have time. Like what I would suggest, JJ Mars, if you do follow me on YouTube, if you watch yesterday's Black Canada Talking, the last 15 to 20 minutes, Cesar Dima Musa went in on that, and he had a lot of interesting comments about that. In fact, him and Ryan called him. They were going back and forth about it. So it was a good, respectful conversation. Oh, look who's here. Ray McMillan says, great conversation, very insightful. I thought you were already in your car, Ray. Oh, man. Oh, I thought that's okay. It's all good. It's all good. So let me ask Ray, when Casey comes back, do you want to co-host with me? So I'll leave that in your plate. Let me see if you're willing to answer that. Are you willing to, when Casey comes back, would you like to co-host? Because actually it brings up a very interesting point. A number of years ago, was it 2 years ago, in the last 2 or 3 years, Casey, Ray, and myself, we did a few shows together. Wonder if Casey remembers that. Wonder if Ray remembers that. We did a few shows together, so it'd be a nice reunion to have us all back on. But yeah, in regards to 50 Cent and Diddy, I'm not paying attention to it because it's all I will say. It's a perfect example of why we shouldn't glorify stars or entertainment stars. And unfortunately, our culture does a lot of that. That's a perfect example of, and think about it. At one time, Diddy was one of the most powerful Black people in America. Think about that. Think about that. That is crazy. But yes, maybe, you know what? Maybe when Dr. Tachi comes on Friday, I can get her take on it, because I had her on Primetime Saturday and also on last Friday on the Morning Vibe. We didn't have a chance to chat about it, but maybe she can give her slant on it and just show the good and bad. Like, that's certainly media, tech, and pop culture, certainly media and pop culture combined. Diddy's an example of that. Anybody else have some takes? And again, thanks, Ray, so much for your take. I know Casey appreciates that. She always appreciates your support. But you know what? I'll give it another few moments. If not, we're just going to shut it down. Let me see here. Oh, Oh, Dr. Tachi's take on what? I just came back in. Your take on the whole. Have you, Dr. Tachi? Have you watched the Diddy documentary that was done by 50 Cent? What are your takes on it? We'd appreciate what you have to say. I know Dr. Tachi is always lurking around. So people want to know what Dr. Tachi has to say about the Diddy documentary. A, if you've watched it, and B, any takes you have on it. Would be appreciated, Dr. Tachi. We'd like to know. Inquiring minds would like to know. Okay, so here we go. So Dr. Tachi's like myself. She has not. And she says, if it's going to be extraordinary, disturbing, I probably will not. Every person that's come to me about it said, told me stories. I'm just going, wow. So I'm at the point now, if I want to watch it, I will, but no, I don't think enough people have told me enough that I don't need to watch it unless I have some extra time to daddle around. And people say, well, you'll have time over the holidays. No, I won't watch it over the holidays unless I'm in a room of people that have it on. And if then I may find a way of ducking out and not watching it. So I'm the same with you, Dr. Tachi. I'm not really up for tuning in on it. I got enough things to do. Really and truly, I got enough things to do on my own. I have enough things to do on my own, 100%. All right. Any other comments before we shut it down for today? Dr. Tachi, you know you're up again this Friday, so we're looking forward to seeing you again to maybe have the real conversation we're supposed to have last Friday. Dr. Tachi says, watching the D documentary, that will not make a joyous holiday season at all. Oh, good. Here we go. And that's another thing we talked about yesterday on Black Canada Talking. The Somali scam in Minnesota, threat of being kicked out of the U.S. Well, 47 has, his usual lightning rod, anything to divert him from the Epstein files. He's now wanting to deport Somalis in Minnesota. And there was evidence of a scam. I don't know the full details of them. Some Somalis scamming the government, and now he's painting all Somalis with a broad stroke, including Ilhan Omar, who is a American-born Somali. He's saying she should go back where she came from. So yes. So JJ Mars, great points as usual. I would just suggest if you can get a chance to watch Black Canada Talking yesterday, Cesar he actually covered in the same section the Somali situation in Minnesota and 47 wanting to attack Venezuela. He combined them in both in one. If not, you can probably wait. I'll probably do some YouTube shorts on it in the next week or so, or if not sooner. And Dr. Tachi Sinchi goes, so when are we deporting the descendants of Europeans that have perpetrated huge scams in the U.S.? Hello? Good point, Dr. Tachi. Yeah, that's a good point. I have some names of people that could maybe be put on that list, but I'm not going to go there. But I'm sure you could think of some people that could be put on that list. Also, JJ Mar says, okay, sounds good. No problem. Yeah, you shouldn't have to look too far on my YouTube channel. I did it yesterday afternoon on YouTube, so you can go and check it out. And it's the second story that Cesar discussed. So if you want to catch it, no problem. It'll be there. Sounds good. All right. Anything else? This is what I love. Family always has topics they want to chime in about, and I can either direct you to someone who's commented about it, or I'll give my take most of the times on those subjects. But good to have you back, JJ Mars. Really good to have you back. Anybody else? Oh, Should I give some interesting news? Or should I wait till January? I'll wait. Yeah, had a win on Friday that you will benefit from. Also, too, for those people who are watching who caught a bit of Casey, would you like to have her on every month? I would like to have her on every month. The Godfather Ray McMillan would like to have her on every month. How about you all? Well, we're going to do it anyways, but I just want to get your takes because housing is such an important topic. And again, doesn't matter where you live in the world, housing in most areas in the world is a challenge. It is a big challenge. So, some of the things that Casey will be sharing may not apply to where you live, but I'm sure that there'll be some things that you say, you know what, we're going through this where I'm living, and she'll be able to provide some foundation in regards to it. All right. Anything else? Just a few more minutes, and then we're going to let you go. I don't know if I'm going to go out in the cold of Toronto today. Oh. Oh, here we go. Good stuff. Yeah, I'm really happy though to have Casey on because I need to know more about the housing issue, not from a micro sense, but from a macro sense. 100%. Need to know more about it. All right, another comment. Hola. There she is, Fitness IQ Cam. What do you want to ask anything, Dr. Vibe, about family? I'm going to give you 2 more minutes and I'm going to exit. So Fitness IQ Cam usually has something she wants to chat about, or Dr. Tachi JG Mars, core people here. Anything you want to chat with me about, any questions you have for Dr. Vibe, and then we will call it. We will call. Oh, I want to ask everyone here, are you enjoying the videos that I'm showing a lot at sometimes before we talk about a story? Are you enjoying them? I can always come with questions. Are you enjoying those videos? Are you enjoying the promo videos I'm showing? I know Dr. Chacho says, oh man, you have so many friends. Okay. Fitness, I guess I should mention you better be careful what you say about our cousins below. I don't think I say anything too cray-cray, but I think about it that if I ever have to go to the United States, they can look at my social media feeds and maybe make some judgments about me. Yes, I know they will look at your last 5 years. I know that. And I know there are times there's some people on the platform that have some very interesting opinions of the United States that may not be enjoyed by some. But I don't have a need to go to the US. There you go. Fitness IQ Cam says, yes, enjoying the videos. I am glad. They're fun to do. That's a get to thing. I get to do those. Those are so much fun. They are so much fun to do those videos, and they don't take long to do, which is even better. The power of the prompt, the power of the prompt is a beautiful thing. But yes, I'm enjoying the using these content creation tools. These AI creation tools are very, very, very good. All right, is that it for today? We call it a morning vibe morning. Is it done? Are we done? Are we done? Sounds like it. Okay. As we exit, let's do our usual stuff. Subscribe to the Dr. Vibe Show on YouTube and hit the notification button. As I said, a lot of you who watch don't subscribe, but if you're up to it, please subscribe. Appreciate that. And for those who have subscribed, thank you so much. Tell people about what we do here. Also, like the Dr. Vibe Show on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok, Blue Sky, and Substack. Join our Discord group. Email me at dr.vibe.com or hit that link on Discord. I think most of you, where you're watching it, all this is in the comments section, so you can go with that. Advertise your business, product, or service on any of the platforms I'm on. Feel free to email me, dr.vibe@thedrvibeshow.com. What else? Mr. Knight. You can catch him at RyanOneilKnight.com, and that's Knight with a KN, not an N.com. If you want to touch base with more of myself, digitally that is, taplink.cc/the drvibeshow.com, and you can watch replays of this epic conversation on the Dr. Vibe Show on YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn. Also, Afro Caribbean Business Network on YouTube and Ryan Oneil Knight on YouTube. That's it for today, family. So, as we call it a conversation, this is what we say. Oh, again, reminder, this Friday, part 2, the year in media, tech, and pop culture with Dr. Tachi, Ryan, Roger Dundas of BuyBlacks.com, and myself. Don't miss it. And next Monday, Emma Ansa will be back for her regular visit, and then we'll take it from there. I know we'll be broadcasting a little bit after that. We just have to decide what. So, live your life as a dream. If you can dream it, you can make it. Sometimes you have to get small to get stronger. Block assumptions, aim bigger, aim better, aim higher, aim wider. Love, faith, and respect. As always, don't just manage your time, manage your energy. Remember to give yourself grace. And if you're not making money, make history. Try to do both. And as always, make it better. God bless. Peace be well. Keep the faith. Walk good. And we'll see you soon.
This whole thing of using your business with plant-based products, don't you think your life should reflect that too?
Juke him, Carolyn. Juke him. The family loves us here because they're saying Fitness IQ Can says put a wig on to get in.
Oh God. Oh my God.
Like the ideas are just coming fast and furious here this morning. What? Okay, look at this. Global Women Ambassador. Good morning. Look forward. Okay.